Alright, hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Happy Wednesday to you all. We're about to jump in here and play. We got paired up in the queue. I'll talk about the deck a little bit later. We're playing basically a version of the same deck that we were playing on Monday, but a little bit more traditional build based off of what you'll see on the Tricky Gym website. We are still playing the new Zamazenta, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm so bad at these names. If there were voice actors in the Pokemon game, it'd be much easier to know what they're talking about. Of course, one of the cards you're going to see here that you didn't see in the other list that we were playing is the Heatran, which I think is just too good not to play. You know, for 3 energy, basically 1 Klinklang evolution. We can hit for 160 as long as one of those energy is a fire. And Klinklang lets us get basically any basic out of our deck and attach it. So Heatran will work that way. Ooh, we get to draw some cards. Of course we want to draw cards. We're a metal deck. So there's a Ho-Oh. We can... Do we have a switch card in our hand? We don't really have a switch card yet. So I definitely want a Nest Ball. We have the Klinklang. There's the Klink. Do we have the Klang? Yes. I think that's what we want to do. It is weakness to fire. All our stuff is weak to fire. So we're going to do this. Attach a shield energy and go. We might end up playing Parallel City in the we can only have 3 on our bench route. We might also next turn just go Mallow. Alright, there's a Cufant. Cufant's pretty good for us. Let's play Cufant. Sacred Fire does what? 50 damage to one of our opponent's Pokemon. Let's attach another energy here. Let's... Metal Goggles... on... Even if it's on the Klink, it still just dies, right? Because it's going to attack for 100. Does this do 1 to our opponent's Pokemon? So yeah, so that won't really matter too much. Let's do this. Let's Mallow. I want Metagross and Rare Candy if it's in the deck. Rare Candy, where are you at? You are not in the deck. So Rare Candy is not in the deck. So I think we just put this fire energy so we can get attacking. And then just to be safe, let's play this, but let's switch it around. Alright, and we can Guard Claw. 430. Guard Claw here, make sure that we take 30 less damage. It's taking 30 less with the Metal Goggles, and then 20 less with Parallel City here. So we're taking a total of 80 less damage from our opponent's Pokemon. The issue, of course, is this big old weakness right here. Weakness to fire. Not looking too hot. Oh, I guess it is looking hot. Alright. Done making bad jokes. We're playing Samarcus here. If you aren't in the Tricky Gym or Cardboard Warriors Discard, you might not know his name. I know this guy's name because he is posting a lot of interesting and awesome ideas. If you have a chance, go check him out. I don't know where he's at on social media or if he's posting stuff or streaming, but check this dude out. Samarcus, he is a cool dude. Cool. Of course, Metagross onto our bench. Draw 3 cards. Then we are going to go Fire Energy here. And then just Iron Hammer. Uh-oh. For 160. And take a prize. Alright, Dialga, not good. We don't have a lot of great cards going on in our hand, but we do have this Heatran out in front. Our opponent... Here's Blacksmith. So attach 2 energy cards to one of their Pokemon. Attach it to this. Rally back. It's going to do 30 plus 120. Pal Pad here. We might be losing our Heatran this turn. Here's a Flowstone on the Slugma. And here's Rally Back. This is not MTGO. We have not been too excited about Magic these days. What lives through the Entei? Maybe the Metagross? I don't think we can do enough damage there for that to matter. Let's put out the Cufant and see what happens. Cufant, we do get to Raihan here, which might be interesting for us. Let's Raihan. Let's get that. Let's attach it here. Let's go and get Copperajah. Yeah, this not a bad client. Unfortunately, it is going away. It is going bye-bye. They've just announced recently. Yeah, right. They just announced recently that this client is not getting any new cards starting in March. So what we have currently is what we will have going forward. Do we put out the Dialga? Maybe, maybe not. I think we save it. Let's Dig Drain on the NT. 60 damage, heal 30. The client suite, everything has an animation based on its type. It's pretty smooth, not laggy, not overly animated. So they have one in place already. It's an arena moto situation where the new client is called PTCGL, or Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and it is in the beta process, so it's not completed. It doesn't have all of the cards yet. Most importantly, it's missing sets from XY and Black and White era, which is some of the cards, but not all of the cards that we play specifically in this format, GLC that is. So we drew the Heatran again. We don't have another energy. I think we saved the Dialga. So we have this other energy, but we can just play our counter. No, we can't. We got to do this. So let's do this. Let's play this Dialga out. Let's Muscular Nose for 220. Kill the NT. Take another prize from our opponent here. We're doing pretty well. But yeah, it's all talk about the PTCGL is that it's kind of buggy and it doesn't have all the cards. A lot of people are upset about it. This will still exist in some capacity, so that's at least good. But this format as a whole, which isn't supported actually by Nintendo or the Pokemon Trading Card Company, won't have as much stuff going on for it. Sad, but what can you do? So we'll be playing probably a lot in paper. Alright, there's Evosoda. We have the Klinklang here. We have the Heatran. We have the Training Court in play. So let's Evosoda. Let's go and get our Klang. Let's threaten this Heatran again. Let's Training Court. Let's get the Fire Energy. Let's put the Fire Energy there, and then let's, we can only Dig Drain here. For 60, heal 30 from our Copperajah. Our opponent is, it looks like, struggling a bit on their side. 2 cards in hand. They have their Slugma. The Magcargo that evolves on top of the Slugma gets a card and puts it on top of their deck every turn with its ability. This is a really important card in their deck. So the fact that they've been slow to get it active is not super great. We've been able to take care of 2 of their better attackers in Entei and Ho-Oh. This cast form is sweet though. If they have it does 3 energy, discard a stadium in play, and it does 150 damage. So it's a pretty sweet card. It's pretty good tech against a lot of the stadiums that exist in this format. And if you're coming from Magic, stadiums are basically just enchantments, but you can only have one. I guess World Enchantments is a better what's the word? Similarity there. Our opponent is going to keep keeping us off of this Muscular Nose though. That being said, we just have this Klinklang here. Do I want a Ball Guy first? I probably want a Ball Guy first. Heavy Ball, Level Ball, Ultra Ball? I don't think we want Ultra Ball. Maybe we get Quick Ball and Hisuian Heavy Ball to throw to it. And then we can heavy ball here. And we can get not much. I thought we could get more. This is where my inexperience with the deck is coming through. I guess we get Bronzong here. And then we can quick ball this counter energy away. And we can get the Bronzor. Let's play the Bronzor. Let's Klinklang. Klinklang's ability lets us go and get basic energy from our deck. We got only 2. So we're going to attach one there, and then we've already training court this turn, so we can attach one here to Metagross. And let's go dig drain. Take another prize. Rough draw from our opponent. Feel bad. Again, 2 cards in hand. This whole format is just so full of draw 6s, draw 7s. Teddy has learned to like some of the Pokemon. I think he's separated the Pokemon from the card. I think in the same way that he can play new Magic cards, I think he can play new Pokemon just without any personal connection to them. That being said, he definitely wants to play the deck that has the most originals. So you're going to see him playing the Water Rain Dance deck. Just attach tons of energy from your hand. It plays a Blastoise. It plays a Lapras. Yeah, that's what he's looking for. Rob, there's going to be like 7 or 8 of us meeting up tomorrow at Hunter Gather for some GLC if you're interested. Yes, so many draw 7s. So Professor Oak, the card in Retro that we've been playing, you get to play one of those. There's a Cynthia, which is shuffle your hand back into your deck, draw 6. There's Marnie, which messes with your opponent's hand. They get to draw 4 after they shuffle their hand in. You get to draw 5. So then there's In, which lets you draw cards equal to the number of your prizes. So if you're behind, it's great for you because you draw cards, but it also makes your opponent draw cards equal to their prizes. And of course, I just drew the best one, probably Colress. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw cards equal to the number of benched Pokemon. So right now I would draw 7, which we might do here, to be honest. Although, to be fair, I should have training courted first. Let's just do this. Nothing doing it. And then we'll Colress here. We're going to draw 7 here. Now here's Professor's Research, which lets us discard a hand and draw 7. Let us do lots of things. So let's heal 30. Let's attach a Metal Frying Pan. And let's kill this thing. Again, not the best go from our opponent. This is not a good indicator of how our deck is. Our deck is set up, so it's doing what it's designed to do right now. We have big boys, we are healing damage, we are doing 220 damage. So our deck is doing its thing. Our opponent raked it in. I think he knew kind of where the writing was on the wall. We were going to kill that Magcargo probably. There we go. And he's already hit us up for the rematch. Or game 2 out of our best of 3. Alright, Metal Tank deck. So far the Heatran is showing us what it can do. Yes, so power creep is real. Our opponent lost, so we're going to ask him first or second. He wants to go first, so we would like to go first. Alright, we have like our best start in Jirachi. And then I do want to put this Honedge down to start. Alright, there's Cast Form. There's the Copperajah. We're going to go ahead and do some things. So let's start with Dreamy Revelation. Do we want energy or do we want Aegislash? We're drawing either one, but we probably just want the energy this turn. We want to do this. Let's go ahead and do this too, and just pass to our opponent. The Jirachi here is so sweet. Each turn we get to look at the top 2 cards of our hand and put one of them into our hand and one back onto the deck. And I might have said that wrong. We get the top 2 cards of our deck. So you basically get to some card selection and you get card advantage from putting it into your hand. That being said, it's not great because we don't have these energies. It's never going to attack. So we're playing a card that lets it retreat for free at some point. But for now, we don't have that. This only attaches to one of our benched Pokemon. Cardboard Live kind of thing for Pokemon like Magic has. What's Cardboard Live? Is that the thing that lets you see the deck list or like scroll over the cards? Because I've looked for a couple of extensions to go on Pokemon and Twitch, and I have been able to find almost none that work. And so I have searched and I have searched and I have searched, and it has not gone well. There's Evosoda. Evosoda is probably pretty interesting this turn. They basically both get us the same thing here. So let's do this. Let's put our Copperajah up there. Let's Evosoda and get Doublade. And that's setting up our Aegislash for next turn. Let's attach that to Copperajah and say go. Yeah, there isn't, so if you ever need me to scroll over a card, just let me know. I try to do my best. Aegislash is sweet. This is not played in, if you went to the Gym Leader Challenge website and you saw the stock list of Metal List, it isn't played. But this card is just sweet. Take 30 less damage from your opponent's attack. It is just awesome. Our deck is all about soaking up damage and dealing big amounts of damage. In GLC, it comes down to who's swinging bigger a lot of times, and you're one-hit KOing each other's Pokemon, like, basically once every turn once you get to a certain point in the game. Okay, they're going to put the Doublade out there. That's not the best for us. And he's burned. Well, we get to heal it. And now it gets to take 30 less damage. That's so we're never retreating it. So we need to draw into some good cards here. We have a lot of good draws. Captivating Salsa, this Oricorio is so fun. These fire decks like to buy time to set up. And this card, being a basic, is just so good. Plus, I love the Spanish little fling it's got going on, you know? Captivating Salsa. This is one of my favorite designs from the new game. This one, the olive one, Smoliv, Dolive, and Arboliva are my favorite ones. Yeah, and that's kind of the great thing about this is like, because the cards date back to 2011, you can find a playable version of your favorite Pokemon. I found a playable Krabby, sleeved myself up a water deck. It wasn't the best water deck by any means, but I could play Krabby if I wanted to. There's lots of playable Crobats. Love myself a Crobat. I was bummed. I think the last Scarlet and Violet might have been the first Pokemon game without a Zubat in it. Or at least not a catchable Zubat. There's caves everywhere. There should be bats everywhere. Alright, Aurora Energy doesn't really do much for us. Gosh, our opponent's just going to like start smoking us here. We got to save this Fire Energy. We got to save this Aurora Energy. I mean, we just can't do anything. We're stuck. Give our opponent the broken heart. We want to do stuff, opponent. This is obviously the opposite of what happened last game. We are set up. Like, once this Copperajah gets into the active zone, we're just going to be like, bah, bah, bah. That being said, this Oricorio is going to start doing 140 damage to our Aegislash because it has weakness to fire. Now, the fire decks are known for having cards to get energy back from the discard pile. And so, if we kill the Oricorio, they're going to have a chance here to probably get back a lot of these energy and pump them onto something else. What do we draw? Nothing. Oh, God. This is rough. This is rough. Alright, Aegislash is down. They have Magcargo going, so they've just been smoothing over every turn, so their hand has to be loaded. our best draw here is... I'm not sure what our best draw is. Like, Aegislash is going to die. Then we probably promote the Jirachi. Alright, Aegislash is gone. Goodbye. Goodbye, Aegislash. You were good. So we're going to promote the Jirachi just because we can always attach an energy to it and retreat it afterwards. So I think before we even activate Jirachi, let's go ahead and attach... Do we want to attach Aurora Energy? If we do Aurora Energy, we discard Metal Saucer. Is it better to have this or this in my deck? I think it's better to have this in my deck. Actually, I lied. I think we're going to do the Fire Energy. So let's research. Research discards our hand. We draw 7. Look, cards that do things. Let's retreat this. No. Cancel. Let's do this first. There's Boss's Order. I think we can grab Boss's Order here. And then I think we do want to Ultra Ball. And we want to get rid of probably that and an energy. And let's go get a Pokemon. We want to get something that's going to let us not die. Let's get this Zamazenta. This card's sweet. This is new from Crown Zenith. Takes 30 less damage as long as it has an energy attached. And then its Retaliate does 100 plus another 120 if we lost a Pokemon from the turn. Alright, now we can do this. Retreat there. Get out our Copperajah and Muscular Nose for 220 damage. A little bit of overkill for the Oricorio, but we get to take a prize. We're even on prizes with our opponent. That being said, we kind of know that our opponent just has like a backup plan, right? So from the previous turn, so like during our opponent's turn, if they knock out a Pokemon, then when it comes to our turn, we can use the Retaliate ability. Yeah, knocked out typically means opponent, it says opponent's last turn right here. Pokemon is definitely a flawed game. Sometimes the wording can get a little rough, and sometimes you have to take it literally, and sometimes you have to take it in other ways. When you have 12 years worth of cards in a format, you gotta figure out how they go together. Well, this one is pretty straightforward. This one is very straightforward. I'll try to think of an example of some poorly worded cards. Ooh, 240 damage to our boy. Okay. I like that too. Though this is a family-friendly stream. I got a son now. We got to think about those things. All right, Klink, Jirachi, Bronzor. Do we want Bronzor or Raihan? I guess we draw Raihan next turn, right? So let's put out the Bronzor. I think we might just let the Jirachi die. If we end here, our opponent goes down to 4 cards. Obviously, we're losing the Jirachi, and it's going down to 3. We go to 5. We could also Boss's Order something up. I think we Boss's Order up the Metargo just to like slow down our opponent here. Metargo has a 3 energy retreat cost. I wonder if our opponent just has the Float Stone, though. If they just had the Float Stone, we get got. Float Stone allows their Pokemon to retreat for free. They might be going to get it right now. Which again means that the card on top of their deck is not a card that's necessarily progressing them forward, so maybe it's worth it to do this. They're going to Versus Seeker here, which lets them get a supporter card back from their discard pile. Rob, since you've played a lot of Retro, and you can play as many trainer cards as you want in Retro, they've changed the rules. And so now a lot of those trainer cards are dubbed supporters, items, or tool cards. So Floatstone, for example, is a tool card. You can play as many of those as you want in a turn. Item cards are the same thing, so tools and items are about to be different, currently the same thing. But supporters are like this, they have support at the top. You can only play 1 per turn, so no longer can you just draw 2, draw 2, draw 2, draw 7, do this, do that. Of course, there are lots of other things you get to do, and they've decided that busted Pokemon is the way to go. Right? Seems like a reasonable reaction. Alright, let's put out this. The Raihan is on top of our deck. And do we have a fire energy? Yeah, I agree. Smart decision on their part. Alright, so the fire energy is gone? Yeah, so we just wasted that card, and that's fine. So let's Raihan. Let's get that. Let's put it here. Then let's go get a card. We probably want to get the Dialga. Alright, cool. We get to see the Retaliate here. We finally take another prize. And then we get to draw a card from our prize pool. Alright, Evolution Incense isn't so bad. That's going to let us evolve our Klang into Klinklang and attach energy to our Dialga here. And then we can end to get our hand up to 4 and our opponent's down to 3. Potentially 2 if they take another prize here. Of course, this Macargo just putting cards on top of their deck is troublesome for us. Plus its free retreat ability also being rough. For how far behind we were at the beginning of this game, I'm kind of surprised where we're at on the whole. I feel like we're in a pretty okay situation. Again, we did nothing for like 4 turns, which I think just speaks to our big boys. Fire is a little bit underpowered in this format. Whoa, there's Blacksmith. This cast form is about to hit for 150, which I don't think is enough. Oh, it is enough because our boys suck. Alright, let's Dialga. And by our boys suck, I mean our resistance. Alright, Evolution Incense. Klinklang. Klinklang on top. Let's hope we have enough energy in our deck. We have exactly 2. Not what we're hoping to see. Let's end. We're going to draw 4 cards. Our opponent's going to go to 2 here. We can do this. Discard that. Let's get Heatran. And then... Yeah, dirty. That being said, we're still in a pretty bad spot here. We need to put a card back from our discard pile. I think we get Bronzong back into our hand. Dialga for 1 energy gets any card from our discard pile back into our hand. So, it's a pretty good card. We need to find another energy in our hand for this. It's going to be pretty rough to do. I think we need to find Super Rod. I think is the only way to get energy back. We can attach our energy from our discard pile to our bench Pokemon. The problem is we want our Dialga to be good. That being said, we could get back an energy, but then we're a turn behind. Just so many decisions. This game is just so hard. Okay. Not a bad play by our opponent here. They get to attach an energy to their discard pile. So we're still going to evolve the Bronzong here. And we are going to get back an energy. Throw it on our Dialga here. I don't think there's any point to level balling, but we're going to see if we have a Pokemon. We only have Metagross left. We don't want a Marnie currently. This is still going to live, I think. We know our opponent put a card on top of their deck, so maybe it's just better to do this. Okay. Not the worst, because we might get to put something into the active spot next turn. Let's Rescue Stretcher. We can put 3 Pokemon from our discard pile back into our deck. We want this, and we want this. 3 pretty good attackers. Let's say... anything good in our pile here? Nothing too good in there either. So we'll burn that card and say go to our opponent. Again, they might be doing us a favor if they knock out this Bronzong. But we have Tate Liza to switch one of our actives up. So we can put our Dialga up and swing in for 120. There's their Super Rod. So shuffle 3 Pokemon or basic energy cards back into their discard pile. And just 3 of them. That's the card we're looking for. If this Bronzong lives another turn, though, we can just attach another energy and go about our business. This is the one time where Metagross isn't super good for us, because if we draw this card naturally during our turn, we can just shove it onto our bench, skip its stage 1 and stage 2, plus we get to draw 3 cards. We aren't playing the other evolutions, so this card is worthless if it's in our hand. So we play lots of ways to get it back into our deck, but currently, not good for us. Alright, opponent is Marning us, which is going to put us up 2 cards. Those are some decent ones. What can they evolve? What does this evolve into? I don't think I've ever seen this. This is evolution. It might be good though. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Okay, it does 5 more damage. So they are going to kill our Bronzong. Oh, they didn't kill our Bronzong. Okay. Let's kill that Macargo. Not quite a comeback yet. Alright, there's Metal Goggles, which is going to reduce the damage of stuff. Still not in our best spot. They're going to play Ball Guy. Go get their balls. Brian, I forgot you're a big fire player. This is a card that's interesting to me. Chandelier. Have you seen this card before? I don't hate it. I mean, it's very inefficient attacker. 60 more damage for each Pokemon they discard. They found nothing, which means we get to take another prize here. Oh, we found counter energy too? Yeah. Our opponent here saying that they feel kind of silly. It seemed right in the moment. I mean, I think it seemed right in the moment. I can't fault our opponent for doing that 100%. Let's go ahead and Lusamina's prize too. Tough break by our opponent here as we're just kind of getting back into this game. I think I want to get in again and just like be rude to our opponent here. I'll take their 4 cards down to 2. We drew Colress too. Oh god. We are getting lucky. We're getting lucky as we work over our opponent here. Alright. Again, we find Metagross in our hand. This is when the gross part comes into play. No, why are you in my hand? Alright, quick ball here by opponent. I love Sir Marcus though. This dude, if you're not in the Tricky Gem Discord, I think he sometimes finds his way to the Cardboard Warrior Discord too. This guy is all about GLC. He's always talking up ideas. He's always got creative ideas. We played him when I was just starting out. And I'm only playing this format since October, and this guy worked us over. And I think we're getting better. I don't think this is a card game where you're tutoring cards every turn. So I don't think I'm getting maybe even 50% of the plays 100% correct and efficient and sequenced correctly. I'm still learning. But the fact that we're being competitive these days, I think, is a shout out to, oh god, what did he just do? I had to get all these things back. Brock's great. That's so good. That's so good with the Chandelier. But yeah, we're getting better. Yeah. Alright. So we don't want to put out the Crystal Cave. Bronx Grit is pretty spicy there, and Bronx Grit also just seems like pretty legit. Like, I am so happy about what I'm seeing here. This is so spicy. I don't want a Colress. We have 10 cards. Our opponent has 12. Oh, 100% recommend this. Like, as a Magic player, I always thought of Pokemon as like the kiddie game. Like, this is for kids, 12-year-olds play this game. And for standard, some of that's true. Some of the standard decks are really hard to play too, though. Just you're tutoring every turn for cards, Pokemon. You're playing. Your sequencing needs to be correct. You have to know what's in your prizes. There's just so much that can go on your head in this game. It's just so difficult, and especially if you're coming from a Magic standpoint, you know, you might struggle with what's the word I'm looking for? Like how card advantage works, because you just throw away so many resources in this game. Gosh, what do we do here? Do we Colress and hope for something? But like, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, does it? Well, let's attach an energy to the Klinklang. Let's just Mallow. It does. It definitely does. Alright, U-turn, no, Tate Liza is what we want, 100%, so that we can switch to something good next turn. And then, might as well Lusamine. I don't think it really matters too much. Alright, say go. Yeah, Pokemon's just so hard. And sorry I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm trying to be a better Pokemon player and actually think about my sequencing and everything. It's just so hard. Alright, here's our opponent using Captivating Salsa to put our Heatran up. We have Tate and Liza just in our, like, yeah, I think our opponent knew. GG, opponent. Shermancus, good dude. Love that dude. Check him out. Alright, deck was sweet. I enjoyed every second of that. This is a deck I am strongly considering for the Augusta tournament that's coming up. Again, February 18th, Saturday at noon at Cardboard Castle Games. They're doing another Gym Leader Challenge tournament. I'm trying to be the very base, like no one ever was. And so this is the deck right here. Just big tanky boys. Copperajah, 190 HP, does 220 damage. We've got Klinklang, which has 160 HP, 130 damage, and when you evolve it from your hand, you go and get 3 energy and put them onto your dudes. We have Aegislash here, reduces our damage we take by 30, but also puts out 130. And then we have some other things here just to kind of soften the load of those guys. Bronzong here, which lets us attach an energy from our discard pile to our bench Pokemon. We have this new card, Zamazenta, which takes 30 less damage and also can put out 120 if needed, mostly 100 at the time. And then Metagross, which is a card I'm trying out. Again, you draw it naturally, put it onto your bench, and draw 3 cards. It is amazing. It does 100 damage the first turn, but every subsequent turn after that, as long as it remains in the active spot, it does 200 damage. So this card is just amazing, and the fact that you don't have to play it stage 1 or stage 2 is pretty good on the whole. Bravo. I don't know where you are, but I have a ton of decks to loan out. How can I fix the deck? Because every time I start a match, I can start off with crappy cards or mulligans. You gotta be luckier. That's my big skill point. I'm a lucky guy. Oh, here's Shermancus hitting us up. Yeah, this shuffler is against us. Hey, Shermancus. What's up, man? I was just talking you up, talking about how much I'm mostly a stalker on the Tricky Gym Discord, but I always see your posts. I always see your deck lists. I love your creativity. I think you smacked us a couple weeks ago when I was just starting out. So thanks for the games, man. They were definitely fun. We definitely noticed you were struggling there. I guess in the game one, you just had 2 cards in your hand, didn't have any draw power or anything like that going. Game two, a little bit different, but you had your stadiums and Lusamine weren't making a showing. So variants definitely got you there. We're just trying out this metal deck, trying to get better for an in-person tournament that's coming up. I don't know if we're going to get another win. We might try another one. Well, we're pretty new. What turn do you think you messed up? Was it just the turn that you discarded your own stadium, the training court? Thanks, man. We're trying to learn too, so when I'm talking about mistakes, it's just something that's going to make me a better player. So I'm not trying to call you out in any way, just trying to learn and get better myself. All right, let's jump in the queue. That was a big part of it. Dude, I loved the Chandelier. One of the guys in the Discord here that I play with locally is plays fire a lot, and we saw the Chandelier and we were like, oh, this card looks sweet. Then it just did 20 damage, and we were like, oh, but that card seems sweet. Plus the Brock's crit. I was blown away. I was excited. I was hoping that everything was going to go right with that card. All right, jumping back in the what's it called? The Tricky Gem Discord for another game. We might be playing. Fair. I feel like online it's hard to play patiently, just because all the shuffling happens. Sometimes you think through too quickly what you're trying to do. It feels like a video game. You're just clicking. I feel like in person, especially when you're sitting across from someone, you think about your moves a little bit better. I don't know if I'm a better in-person player. There's definitely a part of this Twitch talking that gets to me where I'm like, oh, just messed up because I was trying to explain my play. Let's see if our friend Teddy is on. He's trying to play. He was in the queue and it looks like maybe he didn't wait. Let's see if he'll play with us. Oh, he's already in a game, so he found someone, it looks like, in the queue. Oh, you're playing Dream Ball too? I've seen you talking about all your Dream Ball list. I'm not very good with Dream Ball. I've been trying to work on the dark deck that's playing Umbreon, but Dream Ball seems so far from the right call, but I just want to play it so badly. What are you hoping to Dream Ball? Is there something in particular, or is it just good with what you're doing? Alright, looks like we probably won't find another match here. We'll give it a little bit longer, and then we'll dip out for the night. I think I hear my son had finally gone to sleep. Our Chandelier. Okay. Cool. I like Dream Ball. Again, I've got a deck with it, but yeah, Shermargus, you want to play one more? I would love to. You're an awesome player. So I love to play against good people. So yeah, if you'll play against me one more time, I'd love it. No, thanks, man. At this channel, we love playing against better players. It's how we get better. We are not the best, so you are not getting the best from our end here. We're getting better. Yep, we're going to go first here. Alright, no boys. This is that variance with this metal deck. We are playing 15 metal boys. I guess we can call them Dios. I don't know. It's another good metal rocker. Metallica bassist. Gosh, I used to be so into Metallica, the Metallica bassist. I can't remember his name anymore. But Dialga is our rainbow in the dark. Ulrich? Yeah, I think that was it. Dialga's kind of like a holy diver when you think about it. Was he the bassist? Gosh, what was the bassist? It was the guy who ended up dying in the bus crash. Like, I can think of him. I know that he did that. but I just can't think of what his name was. It'll come to me later. I used to be so much into metal. Mastodon, Lamb of God. These days, gosh, don't know what happened. So uncool these days. Give me some nice alternative folk music, please. Cliff Burton, there it is. Thanks, Brian. That's his name, Cliff Burton. That dude in his solos, I used to just be jamming out. Here's the Jubilife. Draw 5 cards each turn. Yeah, back in the day. But you know, stuff happens. You get older. I don't know what happened to my musical taste. I still enjoy metal from time to time. Don't get me wrong. Camelot Nightwish. The names don't ring a bell. I wouldn't be surprised if I hadn't listened to them at some point. There was like, what was this? This is probably like 2004 plus. Trying to think. Guitar Hero was really big. Everyone was crushing on like Dream Theater. And who's the band that can't even play their own songs? Nerds. Dragon Force. Yes, Dragon Force. Right? They were in that game, but from my understanding was they couldn't even play their own songs on stage, right? Like, I think most of it might have been down to alcoholism, but that was it. Lead singer can't remember the lyrics. To be fair, do the lyrics matter in a lot of metal bands? I was listening for the guitar shreds and the bass parts. Those were things I enjoyed. I was in my own metal band. Uncle Pedro, we were called. Don't do me like that, the vocals matter. Maybe in your metal music. Your metal's not my metal, man. Oh. You can't find Uncle Pedro on YouTube, I don't think. My second band, which was a little bit more alternative, which I'm actually proud of, was called Eskimo Blue, which you might be able to find on MySpace. To be fair, I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan too, but let's all be honest, Robert Plant had no idea what he was doing at all with any of the lyrics. So we get to kill this magic card, and that's fun, and then it might immediately die to whatever our opponent is doing. So I really want to do this. And then I want to Ultra Ball away this stuff. What do I want to get, though? I want to get something I can play this turn, and that is going to be relevant going forward. I think it's the Bronzor, because I'm going to Chorus here, and we want to be able to luck into some evolutions if we can. Well, there's a Jirachi, and there's a Parallel City. The Parallel City might be pretty fun to play, and we'll switch it the other way, so that we're taking less water damage from this stuff. Not going to play the Jirachi here, just because I only have one more space on my bench because of my own Parallel City. I think this is correct, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what our opponent can do here that would disrupt us too much. There's our Heatran. That might be bench worthy, because it goes really well with Bronzor and Klink if we can get them off. The issue is we are low on draw support. There's the Drizzile. Take me down to the Parallel City where the grass are weak and the benches are tiny. Take me home. That's a good one. That's a good one. Big props to Brian for that one. The Drizzile is just an insane card. When you evolve it from your hand, you go and get any trainer card that's supporter, stadium, item, tool. And then its evolution on top of that, Inteleon grabs 2 trainer cards. Plus it does 120 damage for 2 energy, plus 20 more to the bench. This card is great. This card and its evolutions. Didn't see what our opponent got there. Probably the Brooklet Hill. All right, there's the Wartortle. We want to kill the Wartortle. I wish there was a way. And there's the Articuno. That's an interesting Articuno. As long as this is your active Pokemon, whenever your opponent plays a supporter card, prevent all effects of that card done to your benched Pokemon. Or benched water Pokemon. That's pretty sweet. So that means like Guzma and Boss's Order don't work with this Articuno. Seems like a really important card if you're trying to protect your Wartortle Blastoise Rain Dance combo. I like that tech. This is what I'm talking about. This Sir Marcus is great. Like, this format is just so wide open. There are a lot of people doing lots of great things, like trying to build. This format's just so wide open. You can do whatever you want, and these guys are out there making lists. Check out their list. We're playing mostly stock lists these days. We're just starting out. But these guys, innovating. This is, so there's Expanded, which is those same cards. Basically, they made this client that we're playing on, which is going to disappear, Pokemon Trading Card Online, and they said, hey, every card that's on this is legal for Standard. Now we can start playing our boys out. So this, let's Gloria. Let's go and get Honedge. Let's kill the Articuno. But, so there's Expanded, that's all the cards that are available on this client. And it's also when they started standardizing cards. Cards before this were all over the place. You had Pokemon abilities and Pokemon powers, which are the same thing but different. You had trainers, then you had supporters. So they basically said, since we started the supporter rule and onward, all the cards are going to be made the same way. And so that's what this is. So Expanded, I would say, is the equivalent to Legacy. And then they have Expanded and Standard are the two formats that they support on their clients. Gym Leader Challenge is like EDH, but from the expanded card pool. So you can't play any card in Pokemon's history, but you can play all the cards available on this client. Singleton format, but you're allowed one of each one except Basic Energy. So again, very similar to EDH. It had to be played on this format, so it's a 60 card deck instead of a 100 card deck. And then of course, you can lose in the second turn, which is a little bit different. Again, Pokemon is a flawed game. Not the worst game, not the best game, but they had a video game first. They had to figure out how, you have your 6 Pokemon and then you have your prizes, which is like paying money to your opponent after you lose a battle. So they tried their best to model the card game after the video game. And it creates some variance. And if you don't have any Pokemon, you lose. So if you just have one guy and he gets knocked out on the turn that your opponent is allowed to attack, you're done. So you spent 5 minutes setting up all the cards, you lose. Goodbye, friends. Which has happened to me. Happened to me into a tournament. Has happened on stream here before. It's called the Donk, and it can be redonkulous. Here's that Inteleon I was talking about. Our opponent is playing it from his hand. Shady Dealings is the ability. Search your deck for 2 trainer cards. And again, just like if that wasn't enough, they went ahead and put Aqua Bullet on the card for a blue and a colorless energy. It does 120 damage plus 20 to our bench Pokemon. Our opponent's going to play Viridian Forest, which is a very sweet card. It might help us out here. Discard a card from your hand and search for a basic energy. Alright, here our opponent is going to play a Reizu, which is going to let them get evolution Pokemon and put them onto the battlefield. There's Gyarados. There's Blastoise. And now they're going to Deluge, which is basically Rain Dance for those of you who play Retro. Do they only have 1 energy in hand? That's not good. Alright, they're going to draw up, maybe find another one. Sir Marcus was talking about this list in the Discord again. That's where I know him from mostly. He really wanted to play this Gyarados, and we kind of came to the consensus that this card isn't optimal for these builds, but it's GLC. You play what you want to. You play the cards you like. Why would you play a game that you weren't invested in? So this card is sweet. 100 for 3. Discard an injury from your opponent's active Pokemon. And then Distilled Blast here, also a pretty good attack. Alright, decrease damage down to 50. Put some Pokemon on your bench. Alright, this is going to be a sweet turn for us. Let's Guzma. And we want to put out the Blastoise. And we want to put out our Jirachi. Then we're going to Dream Your Revelation. And we are going to get Ball Guy here. Then we're going to Viridian Forest. We're going to ditch the Ball Guy. And we're going to get an energy and put the energy into our hand. We're going to put this on our Dialga. We are going to retreat. And then now we can knock out the Blastoise for 140 damage. Exacxies. And we get to take a prize. Kind of eliminating our opponent's ability to keep putting energy on all their guys. Here's Wailord. A heavy impact Wailord. I hadn't seen this Wailord before. Hapu, look at this. Top 6 cards of your deck and put 2 of them into your hand. Discard 2 of them. Discard the other cards. Okay. So our opponent is playing some sort of discard strategy. I haven't figured out what the discard strategy is for yet. Maybe they're just trying to put a ton of energy into the bin and then get it back with Nessa or Superior Energy Retrieval, which are both, one's a supporter, one's an item card, to get cards back from their discard bin, and then use that in conjunction with Blastoise ability. Yeah, Eevee not being playable is a real bummer, but I get why they didn't make Eevee playable. Then Eevee just gets maybe included in every deck. Yeah, same dude. I saw you post about this list in the Discord and about the Gyarados, and I was excited to see it in action once I realized what was happening. We saw all the discard stuff that was going on. I'm assuming you're playing Nessa and Superior Energy Retrieval? No, it's good, dude. We got to talk over here. We talked some metal music since we were playing the metal deck. No worries. You were taking the appropriate amount of time. We were taking time on our end too. So, actually, no? Okay. Guys, I've seen you talk about the deck. I haven't paid too much attention. I just noticed that you guys were talking about the Gyarados. But again, the deck seems sweet. I love myself a Rain Dance deck, and I love that you're playing the card you want to play. Gotcha. Fair. Well, I think that's it for me, guys. Thanks for staying in and checking out the stream. If you haven't liked, followed, whatever, I'd appreciate it. We're trying to get to that 50. It's going to be a minute, but we're trying to get there. I appreciate you all. Next week, we're probably going to do something different. Instead of having a specific type be our focus for the week, we're going to have what I'm calling the very base week, where I'm going to play, I think, the 2 decks I'm most excited about sleeving up for the tournament. One of them is the Psychic Dragapult deck that we played on stream last week, which is one of the most difficult decks I have tried to pilot in my life. Just so many decision points going on in that deck, but the gameplay itself is awesome. And then maybe this metal deck or the other metal deck we played last week, just to try to get some reps in before this tournament. Again, that's what next week is going to be about, and then Saturday is the tourney, and that's it. But again, thanks for hanging around, watching the stream. I appreciate everyone's support. Get to see you guys real soon on Monday. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.